statement, page 2, paragraph 5, I was asking you about your involvement in the takedown operation of 6 December 2024. If you could tell us how you got involved in that operation.
Okay, on the 5th of December, 2024, I was officially on duty at Majok, which is a mission area, joint operations center in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, whereby I received a call from my commander to prepare myself to go and assist in the planned takedown operation that will be taking place on the 6th of December in Gauteng. I therefore, on the 6th of December, then myself and my other LSRC member with the 2 combat members, one was a driver and the other one was just a combat member just to give us some protection. We left at about 2 a.m. in the morning and we arrived in Gauteng at about 8:30 the same morning. And around about 9 o'clock, we met my commander in that time, who gave me a phone call on the 5th to prepare myself to go to Pretoria. And then he's the one who addressed us about the takedown operation that was going to take place on the same day of the 6th of September.
And when he addressed you, what details did he give you about the operation?
The first thing that he told us that there would be a warrant of arrest that will be executed, which involves a person or whom I didn't know at that time, who was allegedly to be involved in the murder case, and the other co-accused as well, of which I didn't know him at that stage. And then after giving us that explanation, and then he became on standby up until we received a call to go and assist the team that was already on the scene.
Did he give you the names of the suspects that were going to be arrested at that stage?
No, at that stage, no. He didn't have. He sticked on just there's a suspect person. Yes.
At what point did you become aware of the identity of the person?
Upon the arrival on a certain house in Sentin, there was 2 persons that were arrested. Of one was arrested and neutralized, and one was arrested, and then I was made aware that the one who was seated inside the room in the lounge or dining room, that was Mr. Molefe.
And that is Mr. Katiso Molefe?
That is correct.
Now, can we just go to prior to you arriving at the scene? Where were you before you arrived at the scene?
We were around at district commissioners' area offices in Gauteng.
And at what time did you then go to the scene?
I can't exactly remember the time. That was just after 2. We get a call, but we arrived at the crime scene. That was about 15:25.
Okay, and at paragraph 9, you deal with what you observed when you arrived on the scene. Could you tell us about that?
Okay, what I observed when I got there to the crime scene, there was a person who was sitting next to the tennis court along the driveway, but next to the tennis court. There was a person who was seated there and who was handcuffed. And next to him, there was a firearm two firearms. One was a rifle, and the other one was a pistol. And a few meters away from him, on the other side of the driveway, next to the gymnasium, there was another pistol that was also lying on the ground. And then, because witness A took us through the crime scene, we took us to a certain vehicle, that was a white BMW. That car was having a rifle bag with, I think that was 3 or 4 rifle magazines loaded with ammunition. And then he also took us inside the house, where he indicated us some possible question documents, on which among those documents there was...
Before you go inside the house,
yes,
the person that you say was next to the tennis court, you say he was identified as Mr. Lehasa Muloi.
That is correct, Commissioner.
Yes. And you say that he appeared to be a bodyguard or driver of Mr. Molefe. What do you mean by that? Appeared to be?
That is correct, Commissioner.
So what do you mean by that? When you say he appeared to be, what does that mean?
Commissioner, I think I need to correct that, because when the arrest that was being made, I was not aware of what vehicle they were told about. They came with, or who was the driver of it. But the news that was circulating on the crime scene at that time, that was a possible driver or a bodyguard of Mr. Molefe.
So when you say the news circulating, so do you mean this is something you must have heard from others?
Yes,
from
yes,
other
yes.
police officers?
From other police officers, that's correct, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Yes.
And to your knowledge, was it ever confirmed whether Mr. Moloi was a bodyguard or driver of Mr. Molefe?
According to my recollection, I can't remember clearly that now. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think you were dealing with paragraph 10, where witness A was taking you through the scene. Can you just tell us what you observed as you were being taken through the scene?
He also showed us before we entered the house, he showed us just a fleet of cars. Some were on the carport and some on the inside the garage, but the garage was opened. And then amongst those cars, there was that one white BMW that I mentioned earlier on, that on the back seat had a rifle bag with 3 or 4 rifle magazines loaded with ammunition. And then after that, he took us inside the house.
And what did you find inside the house?
Inside the house, there was sort of an office, a well set up office inside the house, where he indicated us some possible questioned documents, of which amongst those documents, there were other A4 paper pages, which there were 3, and they were full of specimen signatures on those 3 pages.
Captain, the white BMW that you say the witness A took you to it,
Yes.
were you told whose vehicle it is?
Yes.
And? Are you able to tell us whose vehicle
Yes,
it was?
yes, I'll be able to tell you.
Yes.
Yes, because in that time, later afterwards, I had an interaction with Mr. Lehasha Muloi, and then he indicated to me that is his big BMW.
And you took the details of the vehicle? The registration number of the vehicle?
Yeah, we've got registration number of that BMW. It can be furnished to the commissioner.
Thank you.
If needs be on a later stage.
Thank you.
Did you run its details through the relevant system to establish if it was indeed Mr. Muloi's vehicle?
No, Commissioner. No, at that stage, no. I'm not sure whether witness A afterwards, he did that, yeah. He did that.
Thank you. Can you then continue with what you observed? You mentioned the A4 pages with specimen signatures, and what else?
Yeah, that was the most of it, Commissioner. Yeah, we couldn't find anything further than that.
And what did you do about that, about what you had observed and found on the scene?
Some question documents were taken by witness A, but those A4 pages, that there were three, they were collected by my other LSRC member, including all the ballistic exhibits that were found on the crime scenes, of which there were two pistols and one rifle with magazines and the bullets.
In paragraph 10, you also mentioned that photographs were taken of certain items. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and the photographs that were taken with those have been of the exhibits that had been collected?
That's correct.
If we can then go to page 4 of your statement, at paragraph 11, you speak about an incident that caused your activities to be interrupted. Can you tell us what transpired?
While I was inside the house, busy assisting with my LSRC member in processing the crime scene, I was called by another member from the PKTT, who was a combat member, who was on the gate, to proceed to the gate. And on my arrival at the gate, I saw a group of people who were standing as the bystanders, as well as the members of the Hawks, of which I identified them by the golf t-shirts with the Hawks emblem, and with the 3 or 4 vehicles of the members of the Hawks as well, which were also got the Hawks emblem, and some vehicles were not marked, and some people were on civilian clothing, of which I couldn't know whether it would be the members of the Hawks or the members of the public.
And where were they?
They were just next to the main entrance, to the main gate.
Okay.
But on the outside.
Okay, not in the yard.
Not in the yard, yes.
And was the gate open?
No, the gate was closed.
And were you expecting the Hawks to be on the scene?
Not at all, Commissioner. I did not expect the presence of the Hawks on that operation.
Had your commander mentioned to you that when he briefed you on the operation that there may be other SAPS units that would be joining the operation?
No, he didn't make mention of that. He did not.
Okay. You then, at paragraph 11 of your statement, if I could ask you to just address the last 2 sentences of that paragraph where you speak about the importance of the operation and why the presence of the Hawks was concerning to you.
The presence of the Hawks were concerning to me because they came in numbers. They came in numbers, Commissioner, and I didn't expect them in that big number. And when I interacted with them, they were a bit aggressive and demanding answers, imposing questions to me up until I managed to speak directly, to interact directly with Captain Kruger, who was amongst them. But that it did not sit well with me, Commissioner, because why such a big number and in that attitude as well is.
It's the second time your concern sounds like it was about the number and not so much the presence. Do I understand you to mean that if it was 1 or 2, you would not have been concerned or bothered?
Commissioner, if it was 1, maybe also ask the question in a friendly manner. Maybe it would have been settled well with me to give that explanation. But the way it happened, even the situation was not friendly at me.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Ms. Ncube. I'm not sure that you've answered the question which was asked by Ms. Ncube maybe 2 or so minutes ago. She wanted you to explain the importance of why a takedown should not be interrupted by other people who are not part of the takedown. Do you want to answer the question directly?
Commissioner, that takedown was an official and legitimate takedown, seeing that there was a J50, of which it was signed by the magistrate. I think everything was official, so I wouldn't expect it to be disturbed or to be interfered with until the execution is completed. So to me, it was some like an interference because it was an important takedown operation based on the seriousness of the case that was alleged to be committed by the possible suspect that was supposed to be arrested.
May I refer you to the second last sentence of paragraph 11 and perhaps ask you to read that into the record. The sentence starting, "It is important to understand."
It is important to understand that these operations are highly sensitive and dangerous. It is important for the team to know upfront who will be involved in the operation to avoid compromising the operation.
What might happen as a result of the sensitivity and dangerous nature of the takedown if unexpected people arrive?
For the unexpected people, Commissioner, for example, as it happened, like in that incident, the highly security agents of the Hawks in that number, to me, it showed a disturbance.
Yes. Captain, where you say that it is important to understand these operations are highly sensitive and dangerous, what does it matter? You are involved in a highly sensitive, in what you describe as a highly sensitive and dangerous operation. and then members of the Hawks arrive that you didn't expect, what does it matter? What could happen? What is your concern about it?
Yeah, my consent is going to come back.
What could have happened? Let me ask it. Is it because you're concerned something might have happened because you are in a dangerous and sensitive operation and people that you didn't expect and that you don't know arrive? Are you concerned about, are you trying to convey what could have happened? And if so, can you tell us what you say could have happened with this kind of situation?
Anything could have happened. It would have gone out of proportion. That there's some unfriendly engagement, maybe that might result in having that confrontation, because this, on the other side, we've got police officers who are armed, and the other side, we've got the other state agents, highly state agent police officers who might be armed as well. So in between, there is no understanding. Anything could have gone out of proportion, and that's my explanation, Commissioner.
Now, when the members of the Hawks arrived and you say they were not friendly and maybe you also were not friendly, but you're conducting a legitimate operation, just looking at when they arrive, what is it in the scene that would have told them before you explain? Why should they have known that this was a legitimate operation? Were people in uniform? Your people, were they in uniform? What are the indicators to the Hawks that this is a legitimate operation?
Oh, Commissioner, the members of the combat, which included from TRT or NIU, at that stage they were wearing the bulletproofs, which were clearly marked SAPS. So that would be an indication to them that no, that, or else to trigger them, this might be possible police officers.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mube.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi.
Let me ask you, the Hawks are part of SAPS, correct?
That is correct.
And you would think that whether you call it a division or a unit within SAPS,
yes,
they should be able to identify other SAPS units when they see them.
That's correct.
I, as a layperson, may not be able to do that because I could suspect that, it is fake, or you're using equipment that does not belong to you, or uniform that does not belong to you. But I would expect somebody within SAPS to know that the next person is a SAPS official.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo. You mentioned that there were members of the Hawks and you were able to identify them from the T-shirts with the Hawks emblem. How many, if you were to estimate, how many were there?
To me, Commissioner, if I cannot be exactly, I can be able to say the exact number, but there were between 6 and 8 members, between 6 and 8.
And then you also mentioned that there were members that had civilian clothing on. How were you able to identify them as being Hawks members if they were in civilian clothing?
For those who were on civilian clothing, it was difficult for me to say were they members of the Hawks or not. That's why I regarded them as a civilian, because they were on civilian clothing.
Okay.
You say, Captain, in paragraph 12, in the light of your answer, look at your paragraph 12, what you say about 3 people in civilian clothing. You say they were with individuals in Hawks t-shirts. You see where I'm reading?
Yes,
You say there were approximately 3 people who were in civilian clothing but were with Hawks were with the individuals in the Hawks t-shirts.
that's correct.
Yes. What are you saying about those 3 people? That you consider them to be members of the Hawks, or anyway, civilians who happen to be around Hawks?
Well, I'm not too sure. Even on that time, I was not too sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Because they didn't identify themselves to me.
But you also say that you observed 2 or 3 vehicles with the Hawks emblem.
That is correct, Commissioner.
So not even that gave you to understand that some of the people would be Hawks members.
No, that gave me an indication, Commissioner, that these are Hawks members.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
And these people that you identify as Hawks, the ones in t-shirts and anyone else, were they armed?
No, I couldn't see any of them carrying an arm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. You then say in paragraph 13 of your statement that you were approached by a white male at the gate who identified himself as Captain Kruger. Can you tell us about that interaction?
Oh, Commissioner, while I was there on the gate, amongst that group of members who were wearing golf t-shirts, and there was another white male who identified himself as Captain Kruger, but he was in a civilian clothing. And I also identified myself to him. But he was having, if not a diary, it was a notebook. And then he asked for my particulars, and I gave him my particulars, and he recorded on that time.
Did you tell him that you were from the PKTT?
That is correct.
Okay. And
Although you referred to it as the National Task Team, I think you say, or not? Or am I mistaken? Maybe I'm mistaken you.
no,
with
you're,
another
you're
witness.
correct, Chair. Yes, you're correct.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
You
Yes,
refer to it as the National Task Team.
Yes, that's correct.
And you were still dealing with the engagement with Captain Kruger. Can I ask you to look at paragraph 14 of your statement on page 4? Do you have it?
That is correct.
Okay. You speak about that you introduced yourself to Captain Kruger, and you speak about something that happened while you were talking to him on page 5. Can you tell us about what happened while you were engaging with Captain Kruger?
While I was still talking to Captain Kruger, there's some individual of the Hawks, they came chipping in, asking questions. But I heard a noise that sounded to be the helicopter when I got distracted as well. And then when I looked, it was a helicopter of which I cannot confirm whether it was a SAPS helicopter or not. But it flew about in few circles, and also it flew away.
And this happened while you were still speaking to Captain Kruger?
That is correct.
Were you able to establish what the helicopter was doing in the vicinity?
At that time, I could not establish. I was not sure whether the helicopter was part of the Hawks or it was from the flying police flying division also. So it was uncertain to me which one is which.
Okay, and then you, still in the same paragraph 15 on page 14 on page 5, you say that you were joined by other members from your team while you were engaging with Captain Kruger. Can you just tell us about that?
Oh, Commissioner, while I was still there with Captain Kruger also asking questions about the operation and any papers that allows us to execute that operation. I was also joined by Witness A, as well with other members who were involved in that operation as well. But the Witness A just gave an explanation. He took it further, giving explanation about the J50, which is warrant of arrest, of which the members of the Hawks, they wanted the copy, but Witness A took them further as well, that what is going to happen, but he showed them a copy of that J50.
And you also say in your statement that they asked for additional information regarding the operation. What was Witness A's response to that?
Oh, Commissioner, Witness A, his response was due to the nature and the sensitivity of the case, he cannot divulge any information to them because the matter is still under investigation.
Advocate Ngube, just a moment. Captain, you say you introduced yourself to Captain Kruger. I have difficulty with that because police officers don't just introduce themselves. They present credentials. Did you just say, oh, I'm Captain Wanda, I'm with PKTT? I'm assuming that there's some form of identification that you would have produced to show that you belong to a particular division or unit.
No, Commissioner, when Captain Kruger asked who I am, he first introduced himself as Captain Kruger from the Hawks, but he didn't show me his identity, which is a police card. Yes. And I also introduced myself as well, because he asked me, who are you? I'm Captain Wanda from the National Task Team, PKTT, which is based in Durban. And, but I also didn't show him my police card identity because he didn't ask about it. And then he was satisfied about that. And he further asked who is our project coordinator. I tell him that we are project coordinator is Lieutenant General Khumalo, of which that sat well to him as well with other members because they started to calm down as soon as I mentioned the name of Lieutenant General Khumalo. Then they started to connect the dots now that no, this might be real, this must be genuine. It can't be the bogus police officers who can maybe know about the high-ranking officer.
Thank you, Commissioner Khumalo. Captain Wanda, did the members of the Hawks tell you why they were there on the scene?
Yes, they did, Commissioner.
What did they tell you?
What they said they received or they were given an information that there are persons in that particular address who are impersonating to be police officers or to be bogus of police officers. So that is how they got activated.
And they were activated to do what?
To me, it can be two. It's either to come and confirm whether those are real policemen or to stop the operation.
Did they tell you why they were activated to come to the scene?
The commissioner the reason they said they came to the operations because they were misinformed that there's an illegal operation with the possible bogus police officers that is taking place in that particular address.
And so were they there to verify if the operation was legitimate?
After the explanation from myself and witness A, and then they believed that the operation was legitimate.
Well, my question is a different one. When you were engaging with the members of the Hawks, did they tell you that they were there to verify that the operation was legitimate?
That was after, towards the end of the engagement, because when the engagement started, they were demanding answers.
And you suggest that there was an easier way for them to establish what they wanted to establish. And what do you say that was? That is towards the end of paragraph 15 of your statement.
Commissioner, in such an incident, if you've got a suspicion of illegal activity that happens within or at a specific address, a local police station policing that area is activated to go and verify and confirm whether what is happening, is it real or is it not real? But I would expect the members of the police in uniform, marked vehicles, to come and speak to us about the whole operation.
I'm not sure I follow that.
Yes.
Is there anything wrong with, say, other SAPS members, the Hawks, going to verify even if they are outside of the local police station? Is there anything legally wrong with that?
Well, Commissioner, they are the members of the South African Police Services at the end of the day. I'm not too sure how the message came to them, but they had to go there and verify and check. But on my surprise is the manner on which they came and their behavior.
Let me ask the question again.
Yes.
Would it be unlawful for other SAPS members who do not belong to the local police station to go to the address to do the verification?
No, it won't be unlawful, Commissioner.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Captain, you say after you said this is an operation that falls under Lieutenant General Khumalo, and he seemed to accept that and that it is a legitimate operation. Before that point, had Captain Kruger requested proof of identification that the people there are SAPS members?
No, Commissioner, he didn't ask the proof of identity.
Thank you. And second question, before the Hawks arrived on the scene, and it's just your team, and when I say your team, I mean everyone, including the investigating officer team, were there SAPS marked vehicles with the lot that was there before the Hawks arrived?
No, Commissioner, there
were no marked vehicles.
There was no marked vehicles, yes. Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. If we can go to, still on page 5 at paragraph 16, you have in fact dealt with this where you deal with the information that was requested by the Hawks members from witness A, and you say that he refused to disclose that information. Is that correct?
That is correct, Commissioner.
Then can we go to page 6 at paragraph 17? You deal with an incident while you were talking to Captain Kruger of somebody approaching you. Can you tell us what happened?
Okay, Commissioner, while I was still talking to Captain Kruger, interacting, a certain African male who was wearing a civilian clothing approached me and gave me a cell phone, of which it was on. But on the other side of that cell phone, there was a certain person who who identified to me as a brigadier. And he mentioned his name and surname, but I couldn't capture on that particular time. The only thing I concentrated, that was a brigadier, and it's a high-ranking officer, of which I had to show respect and listen to him, what he was saying. And the brigadier, he says no, he would like to apologize on behalf of the members of the Hawks, because they were given a wrong information. But he is in the office of the Lieutenant General Libya, but they are at Limpopo attending the Police Excellence Awards in that particular time. And then he further switched on the cell phone on video, of which he panned it sideways, and I could see the police officers in blue and the setup of the background of that area. That no, the brigadier is really in that specific functions for the awards. And then after I ended the call, I gave it back to that specific individual of whom we look as a civilian to me. And then the call ended there. And then, but Captain Kruger was just there next to me. He could listen because I didn't move. I just stood next to him while I was on the phone.
Thank you, Captain. If I can just take you back to the identity of the unknown African male. You say you don't recall if he identified himself to you or if you just don't remember his name. During the preparation of your evidence, I indicated to you that there's another witness that will be giving evidence, Captain Kruger, who had taken certain photographs on the scene on the day of various people that were on the scene. I had shown you some of the photographs, and you indicated to me that one of the individuals on that photograph is the person that you believe was the person that gave you the cell phone on that day. I'm going to ask you now if you can go to section 3, which is the statement of Captain Kruger, and if you can go to Annexure B5 on page, BK5 on page 21.
You must please remark these, Ms. Ngube, because I see in the statement they are referred to as BK.
Yes,
but the actual marking on the annexures themselves is B and then the number without the K.
Chair, if I can just say that the actual markings on the annexure is actually BK, which is my work product.
So it's your flag. It's your flag that says B without the K. It's all your flags.
I will say
B
it's
without the K.
I will
so that's what I looked at, And I didn't even look at what appears at the top of each one of the annexures.
Yes,
I just
Chair.
looked at the B and the numeral.
Yes, Chair. If I can just clarify, what I meant is that the BK on the actual annexure is my work product.
Yes.
The B on the tags, I can't take ownership of that, Chair.
Okay, all right. Thank
So
you.
if I can then ask you to go to BK5, which is marked as B5 on the tag. Are you there on page 21?
That is correct,
Do
Commissioner.
you see the photograph there?
Yes, I do.
If I could just ask for it to be projected, please. Do you see the photograph has two gentlemen?
Yes, correct. I can see it clearly, Commissioner.
Can I ask you to look instead on your hard copy instead of on the screen?
Okay. Thank you.
And can you identify for the commissioners the person that you think is the unknown male that gave you the cell phone for you to speak to the brigadier?
Okay, Commissioner, on that Annexure 5, Annexure BK5 photograph, is a person who is on the left wearing the T-shirt, who's folded his arms on the back.
So it's the shorter gentleman on the left with the dark T-shirt with his hands behind his back.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Okay. And you don't know the name of that person?
No, I don't know.
Okay. That evidence will be led by Captain Kruger, Chair.
And Captain, you say this is the man that brought the cell phone to you.
According to my recollection, Commissioner.
And on that cell phone, you say you spoke to the brigadier. Now you know it's Brigadier Mokwena
That is correct,
on this gentleman's phone.
That is correct, Commissioner.
Do you have any knowledge whether this person that you've just pointed out here, whether that person is a member of the Hawks?
No, I do not have any knowledge. I do not bear any knowledge, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. And then if I can just deal with another aspect of the evidence that you just gave, as Commissioner Baloyi indicated, you now know that it was Brigadier Mokwena that was on the phone with you, but you didn't know that at the time. You couldn't recall his surname at the time.
That's correct.
Okay. And can you just for the record tell the commissioners how you now know that it is Brigadier Mokwena?
Okay, I was informed by the evidence leader, Commissioner, that the person of whom I speak with him on that particular day on the phone is Brigadier Lisaba Joseph Mokwena.
Thank you. And if I can just explain to the commissioners that Brigadier Mokwena will be the second witness to give evidence who confirms that he spoke to Captain Wanda on the phone on that day and refers to the video call showing that he was at an award ceremony. So it is the same person. And if there's a third aspect that I want to clarify, it is insignificant, but just for consistency. When Brigadier Mokwena gives his evidence, his evidence will be that he told you that the Excellence Awards was being held in Pretoria and not in Limpopo. You say that it's in Limpopo. Do you want to just tell us why you are adamant that it was there? Because when I addressed it with you, you said that you were adamant that he said it was Limpopo.
Okay, Commissioner, that's what he told me on the phone. That it sat well in my mind.
Okay, thank you.
That's what he told me.
Isn't there a possibility that you might be mistaken? Because I just do not see why he would not give you the correct location. That was something that could be established quite easily, and I do not see why he would have been cagey about something like that.
Yes.
Can't you possibly be making a mistake?
If he comes with a different version, Commissioner, that one I cannot dispute it, because a cell phone, a person can say, I'm here in these premises, but he's on the other side. But that can be established. There are many ways and means that can be established. That phone where at that particular time where he made it, what was his location specifically?
Thank you, Chair.
So one last question from me, Captain. Did Captain Kruger and/or Brigadier Mokoena tell you who informed them about your operation, that you were at the scene?
No, they didn't.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. You say on page 7 of your statement, it's still paragraph 19, when you deal with Brigadier Mokoena showing you the video of the other police officers at the Excellence Awards. Do you know why he did that? Why he was showing you the video? Did he tell you?
When he said that, he said, Captain, we are not around in Gauteng. Let me show you the video because we are attending the SAPS Police Excellence Awards in Limpopo. That is where he switched it on the video call and then pan it around just to show me the background and the activity of that particular day.
Thank you, Captain. Now, at paragraph 20 of your statement, you say that after your call, the members of the Hawks left. When you were speaking to Brigadier Mokoena, did he indicate to you that he would instruct his guys to leave, or were they already in the process of leaving while you were on the phone with him?
After that, Commissioner, they just left. I'm not too sure whether there was an indication from their side that they must leave or not, but they just quietly left.
Okay, and was that everyone that was from the Hawks, so the entire contingent, left?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Then at paragraph 21 on page 7, are you there?
That's correct.
You speak about what happened after your call with Brigadier Mokoena and the members of the Hawks left. Can you tell us what happened when you went back into the scene?
After that interaction, Commissioner, with the members of the Hawks, and then I walked back towards the house. Before I enter the back entrance, Mr. Lehasha Moloi was just seated there, but guarded by combat members. And he asked me an excuse, of which I attended to him. That's where he started to interacting with me. He has the service of the water and the service of the cigarette. I then called the eldest son of Mr. Katiso Molefe to come and assist, of which he organized water and the cigarette, and it was served by Mr. It was served by the eldest son of Mr. Molefe. And then when he was done, before I left him, he asked me a question that, Captain, what is going to happen now? Because the arrested person is the friend of the honorable or of the Minister of Police. And then I asked him, he said, because he's a friend of the minister. I said, who is that minister? He said, the Minister of Police. I said, Honorable Senzo Mchunu, and then he said, yes. And I then explained to him just a standard procedure if a person is arrested, that no, we are still in a crime scene, crime scene is in a process. After we've done here, the suspect will be taken to a police station where will be processed and formally charged. But the family members will be informed about where the suspect will be taken to, of which will be done by the investigating officer in that particular case which has witness A. And then I said, after that, other than that, witness A will deal with other matters.
Did you not inquire from him what was the significance of him telling you that the arrested person is a friend to the Minister of Police?
No, I didn't inquire to him, Commissioner.
Why not?
I took it on a lighter note, Commissioner, because I didn't know Mr. Molefe. What he was saying for me, it was just to listen, because friends are friends. That's what came to me. If they are friends, and then I'm not interested in that, I could not dig any further, colleagues.
Just so we are clear and there's no confusion.
Yes.
This conversation is happening between you and Mr. Lehasa Moloi, not with Mr. Molefe.
No, Mr. Mohasa Moloi, yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo. If we can then go to page 8 of your statement at paragraph 23, I think you then said you explained the process to Mr. Moloi regarding what would happen after the operation. And then at paragraph, you say you went back into the house at paragraph 24. After you processed the scene, where did you go to?
After the scene was successfully processed, and I left with the other members of who were part of that planned operation. I think two addresses, one in Soweto and one in Sentin. But they were going to look for the other suspect who was also allegedly to be involved in the blend down operation.
And who was that person? Who was the other suspect?
I was later told that was Lucky Molefe, yes, but I didn't know by then. When we got there, I could not get involved. I just stayed in the car because there were no activity that required my expertise on that time.
And why do you say that your expertise was not needed at that time? Were they able to find Mr. Molefe, Mr. Lucky Molefe?
No, he was still at large. At that stage, he was not found.
Then if we can go to the next topic in your statement, which is actually the last topic, it's possible interference. Sorry.
Before you do that, Ms. Nube, just to take you back to the discussion with the conversation with General Mukwe, with Brigadier Mukwena, and you say he then, I think at page 7, paragraph 20, this is where, paragraph 19 rather, where he pens his cell phone to show you the room in which he is, and then you say, I do not recall why he specifically informed me that he was with General Libya. You see where I am?
Commissioner's page?
Right at the top of page 7. You say, at the top of page 7 in your statement, you say, I do not recall why he specifically informed me that he was with General Libya. You see where I'm reading?
That's correct, Commissioner.
Now, before he said this to you, before Mr. Mukwena, Brigadier Mukwena told you this, had had Captain Kruger mentioned to you that someone had said that General Libya is at the house with you in the operation?
No.
Was this the first time
That was
you
the
had
first time.
anything about the mentioning of General Libya?
No, not at all.
No. So let me repeat my question. When the brigadier
Yes.
tells you that he was with General Libya, this was the first time you had a mention of General Libya.
That is correct, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mba.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Can we then go back to your statement at page 8, paragraph 25, where you start off with your topic on possible interference? Before you deal with the content of those paragraphs, can you tell the commissioners why you refer to it as possible interference and not interference? Why is it possible interference?
Commissioner, I've been to planned operations while I was still before I was deployed at National Task Team in my district, Cikizwa district, in KwaZulu-Natal, as well as the other operations that I was also part of it. That took place in East London, in Eastern Cape, where I went to 4 addresses in East London, as well as in 2 addresses in Alice. But I didn't experience any interference from any other police agency.
Yes, my question is, why do you refer to it as being possible interference? That suggests that you are not sure whether it was actually interference, as opposed to saying that you are convinced that it was interference. Why is there a doubt about it?
Firstly, Commissioner, as I alluded earlier on, that the local police stations would have been activated to come and verify. Yes, whether is it illegal operations or not illegal operations. And why such a big team from the Hawks? As the Commissioner have said, that maybe one member with a good attitude as well. So the attitude and their presence was concerning to me, Commissioner. I've never experienced the interference in my career as well, colleagues. And I then give them the benefit of doubt. That did not sit well with me during their presence.
Just a quick question. Do you know whether they came from Johannesburg or Pretoria, the Hawks that were present on the scene? Did you know where they came from?
No, Commissioner, I'll be lying. I don't know.
And when you refer to their attitude, are you referring to your statement that they were unfriendly?
That is correct, Commissioner.
Would you accept that you too were unfriendly? I'm asking this because, is it Captain Kruger? What's his rank?
It's Captain Kruger, Chair.
Yes. I'm asking because Captain Kruger actually admits that they, the Hawks people, were unfriendly, but that you too were unfriendly. Would you admit that you too were unfriendly?
Commissioner, I don't know prior that because when I was called, they were already stopped by the members of the combat by the gate. So I don't know how that interaction go. How did it go? Because the other member of the combat, the way he came to me, he was very, very in a hurry that I must quickly rush to the gate. Because I happened to be a senior person in that operation to address the situation. So before that, I don't know. But when I got there, yes, they were unfriendly to me because they were asking the questions, demanding the questions, not even allowing me to give the chance until Captain Kruger, I must be genuine, Commissioner, he was calm and friendly. Because he was recording, he wanted the facts and all those things in a nice and a formal way, you see. But I was responding to him as well in a very respectful way. But I cannot speak on behalf of other members.
So if he was calm and friendly, who were unfriendly?
I wouldn't know, Commissioner.
On his side, on his side.
On his side, it was some of the members of the Hawks.
All right, thank you. Yes, Mr.
Thank you, Chair. So you and Captain Kruger weren't unfriendly, but everyone else seemed to be unfriendly towards each other. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct.
Thank you, Captain Wanda. Chair, that is the evidence of this witness, unless there's anything further from the commissioners.
Yes, may I? Captain, the heading of this section is possible interference, and Ms. Sigal-Ngube asked you, why do you seem to be unsure? Looking at your paragraph 26, you speak more firmly that what happened with the Hawks constituted an interference. Do you want to explain that? Just explain what you've said in this paragraph, or even read it into the record.
Okay, let me read it to the record, Commissioner, then I'll also elaborate on that.
Yes.
As a police officer, I gave other police officers a doubt of, other officers a benefit of a doubt because...
Sorry, Captain, you're reading the
26.
incorrect paragraph, 26 on page 9.
26.
Yes.
On page 9.
My apology, Commissioner. In my view, the conduct of the Hawks constituted interference or disturbance with the legitimate takedown operation in circumstances where there was no basis for their presence at the scene. It was also very concerning to me that the questions they were asking and their attitude towards us seemed to be consistent with that of the team looking to interfere in our operations as opposed to verifying if we were SAPS members.
You said you will explain more.
Yes.
This paragraph. Do you want to add anything onto what you've said here?
But the whole paragraph is just summarizes itself, Commissioner. I'll be repeating the same thing.
So am I correct, and that's what the words say in the paragraph, that you considered that just the mere presence of the Hawks where you're conducting a legitimate operation, that just their mere presence was to interfere with the operation? Am I correct to understand it that way?
Yeah, that is correct, Commissioner, because we had to stop processing and attend to them. By that itself, that was a disturbance or interference.
And you said Captain Kruger was in civilian clothes.
That is correct, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Girls.
Paragraph 16 of your statement, Captain, you did not deal with it, and it concerns me. You say in paragraph 16, witness A informed them being the members of the Hawks, that the operation was legitimate. When the members of the Hawks asked for details about the operation, including who we were arresting and the case number, witness A refused to disclose this information and indicated that it was not necessary for them to know these details. Did it not concern you that after you had identified yourselves as members of the SAPS, they still wanted to know the details of the operation, who was being arrested, the case number, disclosure of all that information?
It raised a concern, Commissioner.
And what is that concern?
It raised a concern because this was a sensitive issue that we were dealing with. So most of the information could not be divulged to any other person, even though it could be police officers. Yes.
And why is that? Why can you not disclose it to other
The matter
police
was still under investigation, Commissioner. Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Chair.